are baseball, the national pastime of America. At least I still think it's the national pastime of America. Question for another day. Anyway, welcome to another What You Should Be Watching for this month. Today I want to cover a baseball series. Now I know what people are going to be saying. A sports anime? I don't want to watch a sports anime, especially one about baseball. Hopefully today's video will be able to convince you to give sports anime or Diamond No Ace a chance, because I do highly recommend it. I have watched a few other sports series reviews from other YouTubers, and there's a common theme that I notice is that they've never played the sport, or they've never really had any time to watch, or had no interest. But I can't say that's the case for me, as I actually did play t-ball and baseball growing up. So I am familiar with the terminology, how the sport works, so I understand that my opinion might be a little bit more biased in terms of I actually do enjoy baseball to some extent. I haven't really watched much, obviously being an Australian. I really would like to try and convince you as a viewer, if you've never seen baseball or you've watched baseball and you don't think it translate well to an anime, beg your pardon. I do want to be able to change that opinion. Hopefully I'll do a good job at that, but we'll see how it goes. Now, I want to cover the story, but before that I want to cover some of the more miscellaneous things. What is Diamond No Ace? Well, Diamond No Ace began publication in 2006, and it's currently ongoing in Shonen Magazine, weekly. Now this is actually a chief rival to Shonen Jump. This Shonen Jump has series like One Piece, My Hero Academia, Black Clover, used to have Bleach and Naruto. This series has over 418 manga chapters for part 1 and 158 chapters for part 2. Now, the anime has 2 seasons, with a third coming in April. Hallelujah. Season 1 has 75 episodes, with Season 2 having 51. Now, there is no dub. For those that do like to have the English dub, I'm sorry, this series doesn't have that. Now, let's get to the story. Diamond No Ace basically follows the main protagonist, Sawamura Eijun, Saramura for short. That's what I like to call him. Now, his quest is to achieve becoming the starting pitcher, obtaining the treasured ace number of the team. Ace number is the number 1, for reference, jersey number 1. The problem is he's a mediocre pitcher, at best. But he does have an unorthodox way of pitching, and this does get people's attention. One particular scout from Saito High School actually notices this skill set that he has and realizes there is an ability here to train him and make him a better pitcher. So, to kind of spoil the first episode, he gets recruited into Saito High School. Now, Saito is one of the former powerhouses of high school Japanese baseball. It's not what it used to be. It's kind of lost a bit of its luster. So, even though it's a very powerful baseball school, it has lost a bit of that reputation, and it's falling behind some of its rivals and competitors. Now, this isn't to say that when Saramura shows up, he's going to walk into being the starting pitcher. Not at all. He has a lot of competition. And this is where we meet the other kind of duo antagonist in Furuya Satoru, or Furuya for short. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. Now, he is the exact opposite of Saramura, where Saramura is loud and obnoxious and a bit of a Naruto-like character. Furuya is introverted, very shy, but he is a prodigy, a bit like Sasuke. And you can see the themes of, the character similarities between the two series here. But he is absolute genius. His fastball is unparalleled in his age group, and he destroys the competition. So, to cut it short, Saramura and Furuya have a lot of competition. They have to fight each other, plus the other pitchers on the team. Second year pitcher, Kawakami, and the third line pitcher. Now, I will like to say that this series does a good job of showing off the intricacies of baseball. Well, now this could be putting off a few people already, but I would like to say that hopefully you can bear with it, because the first, arc, the training season arc, or the training camp arc, is quite long and very detailed, very involved. But this, what it does is it allows us to see all the characters that are going to play a part in the team. So the first liners, the second liners, the bench players, and show all their limitations, the things that they need to work on, and it shows them training. This kind of gives each and every character their little moment in the spotlight to kind of grow their abilities. And this includes, Saramura, Furuya, and others who, may have stamina issues, or their ability to concentrate and hit the ball is nowhere near what it should be, considering their position on the team. And this is all for the sake of reaching the national champions of Japanese high school baseball. Now, I do want to talk about the dynamic that Furuya and Saramura have, as I think it's a solid dynamic that you enjoy seeing. You enjoy seeing their competition. You enjoy even the fact that, Saramura, really dislikes Furuya because he's, a rival and a competitor, and it's kind of taking the spotlight away from him. But to see the relationship grow over the series is something that I really highly praise, and it's solid character development that, some other sports series do neglect sometimes. I can name a few, Major being one, but also the fact that how the dynamic between the team grows and constantly gets better. Now, all for that goal of getting to the national championships. And you really do feel the fact that a lot of work has to go into just even get to compete with other schools to get a placement in the nationals. The amount of work is incredible, and it is highly detailed. Now, this is probably where I could see people dropping off in the series due to the fact of how slow it gets around on the training camp sessions. During match play, pacing's very quick. During the training camp, to kind of get all those moments, see the growth of the characters so they can apply it into a real game scenario, does take time, and the pacing can slow down. But I do urge people to bear with it, because when the payoff hits, it hits hard. No pun intended. Now I would like to cover some of the characters that are in the series, particular standouts for me. Now, I don't want to say too much here because I don't want to spoil anyone, but I would like to talk about one particular character here at the start, and this is probably where the majority of my focus. He's my favourite character, so I have to do this. Now, he's commonly referred to as Chris Senpai. Now, Chris Senpai is a third-year catcher who kind of mentors and guides Saramura into being a better pitcher. A lot of personal one-on-one training, teaching him how to improve his stamina, his throwing ability, even just concentration, something that, even he struggles with. Now, Chris Senpai is himself dealing with his own demons. And I like the fact that, by him teaching Saramura, he's also improving himself and kind of helping to relish certain dreams that he has. And I really do like that dynamic. And Chris Senpai, it's a shame the fact that he's a third year. I would have liked him to continue on. Another character that I think is probably a lot of the fan favorite for many of the Diamond No Ace fans is Miyuki Senpai. Senpai. He is the catcher. He is probably one of the best players on the team. In fact, I think he is the best player on the team. One of the funny, cheeky characters, always, prodding and teasing and trying to get everyone to be a better player and trying to himself improve, even though there is a lot of pressure on him. And as you find out during the series, that there's more to Miyuki than meets the eye. Something I really appreciate, because sometimes in baseball anime you kind of think it's a little bit stale and boring. There probably isn't much kind of mystery going on there, but I do enjoy that the author did add that element into it. Another one is the friend of Furuya and Saramura, Kominato. Not much to say here because I don't want to spoil anything, but I would always love to know how he sees the ball being second baseman. I don't know how he sees the ball without hair, but anyway, another good character. One more character, a couple more characters I want to cover. First one is the coach. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name because I'll stuff it up, but I do love Saito High School coach. When you first see him, you think to yourself, this guy is going to be such a hard ass. He's going to drive these kids into the ground, but you can't help but eventually think, wow, I was glad I was wrong about this guy. Top tier character, one of the best in the series. Few of the rivals or opposition team members themselves have outstanding characters, one of which I quite enjoy is Raichi. Raichi is the big slugger. He wants to get the home runs, nothing else matters. And I just love the eccentric nature of the character. Again, as I said before in my Bakuman review, I love eccentric characters. Raichi's no different. Kind of the big threat to Saito High is their chief rival, Inashiro Industrial High School. These guys are no jokes. They basically are one of the best teams in Japan, and they have the members to prove it. One of their chief antagonists, or assholes as I call them, is Narumiya Mai. oh, butchered it again. Yeah, he is one of the best pitchers in the country, and he shows it. Just absolutely devastating, but I can't stand his personality. But for an antagonist, sometimes you're going to have shit like that. Now I'd like to cover the manga and anime artwork. I feel this is always a very controversial subject, but I'll do my best to cover it. Diamond always has terrific artwork. Every time I read a chapter of Diamond always, I'm always impressed with the detail, backgrounds, the shading, the character models, always the high level of consistency. You can always tell who it is and who I'm looking at, and terrific action sequences. Though at times, I remember earlier on in the manga, I had trouble kind of seeing, was that a hit or was that a strike? What was it? But as you get used to reading the series, you'll figure out what's going on. But that is a bit of a critique I have. Now as for the anime, this is the big one, the big kahuna. Now this is produced, well, the Diamond Always anime is produced by Production IG and Madhouse in a collaboration effort. Now, I have no idea how much work was put in by Madhouse or Production IG. I know 50-50 split, 75-25, no idea. I couldn't find anything online. But again, you're having two of the best production houses in terms of making sports anime in the business. I'll list off what Production IG has done. They've done Haikyu, Prince of Tennis, and Kuroko no Basketball. And with Madhouse doing the legendary Hajime no Ippo, a series I hope to cover one day in the future. Seeing those lists of fantastic sports anime, I feel should be enough to kind of sell this anime. Now there is probably one complaint with anime, and I have actually had this debate before, is that sometimes it does pad out scenes in the anime. Lingering crowd shots is probably the #1 issue. You will get a lot of that. So if that does bother you, I would suggest reading the manga over the anime if that's going to be an issue. I've noticed it, but it's not that big of a deal, and I really don't think it's going to deter much from you. Now we get to the music. Not my most favourite subject to cover, because I never feel like I have much to talk about here, but unlike Bakuman, the OSTs of Domino Ace are really outstanding. Some examples, I would say, are Wings of Hope, Grow Stronger Step by Step, and the legendary Perform Miracles. I actually do listen to these soundtracks on the occasion as well. And I will say that when these OSTs start to play, they always lift the moment. Whatever's happening, it could be sad or crazy or huge hit's about to happen and crazy pitch, that OST comes on and it just accentuates the moment and just makes it from an 8 out of 10 to a 10 out of 10 moment. Something that the manga cannot do. And this is why I would recommend the anime over the manga. It is just for this fact this OST is so good. Now for the openings and endings, I don't have much to say here. For the openings, some notable standouts being Opening 3. Opening 1 is also quite good. I think Opening 2 of the second season is also quite good. None of the endings stood out, so I'm not even going to bother with them. Overall, I think this series is one of those kind of 9 out of 10 series or 8.5 out of 10 series. It's something that you have to experience to really comprehend what it talks about when you see a quality sports series. When you see a slam dunk, a Haikyu, or whatever it may be. Now, it may not be a shonen or a seinen, but it has a kind of a different feel to it, and sometimes it's very hard to explain what that feeling is. I think the fact that you see these characters put in so much hard work and that you can't help but root for them and cheer for them when they exceed and when they actually do grow and when the team is, getting it together and actually doing well against powerful rivals. In a way, it is similar to a battle shonen, but it's done in this unique or different way that's actually, I do feel it hard to explain sometimes, but I also find that a threat that they could lose to be very real. Sometimes with battle shonen, you think, the characters, they can't lose because they'll die. So you kind of have this guarantee of victory on their part, but with it's a sports series, you don't have that. You actually do feel that there is a threat of losing, or the threat of an injury could really cripple them, or the victory is going to be skin of their teeth. It's something that I appreciate, that I have done a great job of convincing you to go check out Diamond No Ace. Anyway, I'd like to say thank you for watching another What You Should Be Watching.